All right, so here I'll be showing the spreadsheet and what does each column mean and in some detail. So by next time, you can take a look at it and maybe expedite the analysis of my strategy if you'd like to leverage and use it. All right, so basically in here I'm putting the left side of column A, I have the fighters, right, which are fighting. In here I have the months and the event. This is just afterwards because I will record all my results in these metrics here, but as of now I don't think this matters much. In this column here I have each guy, right? So 1 versus 2, so 1 in this case would be Jimmy Flick, in the other in 2 in this case would be Cody Durden. So these props, these lines here, it wasn't I who made it. And these are lines basically for me to know whether I'm interested into betting this guy, if when the actual odds open, if they are within this range or greater than, then I would consider a bet on this guy, right? So if, as an example here, we have Jimmy Flick as 1, the one fighter number 1, and Cody Durden as fighter number 2. So I would be betting Jimmy Flick if I would be getting a real line on Flick at plus 200. And I would be betting Cody Durden at minus 120, right? And then in the actual odds, what happens? Jimmy Flick is at minus 150 and Cody Durden is at plus 120. So this is greater than this. So this is a bet that I'm gonna be making, right? Let's keep it like this for now. Plus, I would be considering prop bets. Prop bets are those that they are specific, right? So a guy by TKO, a guy by submission, a guy by decision I have in a separate column, or by round betting. So in this case, I would be betting Jimmy Flick by submission if I can get a prop bet which is bigger than plus 700, right? This may look quite a lot, but eventually you may find, it will depend obviously on the fight and on the card, all right? And this is for the first fighter. So in this case, Jimmy Flick. This is for the second fighter. I would be bet Cody Durden by TKO if I can get a line at plus 600, or by submission if I can get a line by plus 700 on Cody Durden. All right, and I would be betting either of these guys by decision if I get a plus 500 decision bet either on Flick, either on Durden. All right, and in here, this is just saying if I'm betting or not. Here is the amount that I'm betting. So I could be betting, I'll be betting 1% on Cody Durden, right? When I paint here, it means that I'm going to be betting this fighter here. This is fighter 1, this is fighter 2. So I'll be betting Cody Durden, 2% of my money. I'll be throwing 1% as a straight bet and 1% of my money in a parlay, right? And this is the total return that I expect to get in this matchup. All right, so this is actually, it's a little bit wrong. And in here, this is just from our control. In here, I multiply by 1.2 because I'm not keeping track exactly of which bet. This is just a number that I'm basically making up, but this shows that my parlays, in general, I have 60 to 70% accuracy. So multiplying by 1.2 just because I will parlay this with other guys, and when you parlay, if they win, you multiply, etc. So this is just to represent that, right? But it's basically just for my control. Okay, so this was, I was breaking down here, and then afterward comes some columns that I will just afterwards record here on my metrics in here. All right, so this, I don't think you have to worry about it. So let's just go to the next one. So again, real quick now, this is Greg Hardy versus Martin Tibura. I would be betting Hardy at in the range of plus 130 and Tibura at plus 170. So obviously I have Hardy winning this fight. Okay, so, and I would be considering prop bets if I can get Hardy in round 1 at plus 400, in round 2 plus 600, or by TKO plus 300. Okay, these are all prop bets that I would be doing if I can find those lines. It doesn't mean that I found those lines, right? And by the way, I'm not recording any success or not on the prop bets. I'm recording only success in these lines here, okay? Just to simplify things. And I'll be betting Tibura by submission, right? If I can get him at plus 800. Or these are decision prop bets that I would be betting. I would be getting Hardy at plus 600 by decision if I can find this line, and I'll be betting Marcin Tybura plus 500 if I'll be betting this line. It turns out that the lines opened at nearby a Piquen. Some bet houses I found like at Piquen for Tybura. For Hardy I got him at plus 100 at even money, so I decided to bet, even though this doesn't match too much. Like I told you, it's just a guideline for me. At the end, I'm feeling quite confident on Hardy. I'll be betting not so much money. I'll be betting like less than 1.5%. Actually, I'll be making this 1.5% of money on Hardy. All right, then I will adjust here this total return. Now, Tyler Santos versus Gillian Robertson, the same applies. You know, I'll be not even showing the other column because I don't think this interests any longer. So I'm interested in betting Santos by prop decision in a TKO plus 500, which this is very likely to find because two girls are fighting. Girls are not well known by TKO victories, so you may very easily find this bet. I don't think it's difficult. And I consider Tyler Santos by submission also because I think she can hurt Robertson and take by submission. So this is plus 800. I would be getting a prop bet on Santos. Now for Robertson, I would go by Robertson by submission. If I can get at plus 700, this will be by decision. So I think Santos wins most likely by decision. So I'll be taking a prop bet on her if I can find this line at plus 450, and this is Robertson for plus 500. At the end, when the line is open, Santos, she's at the plus 100. I feel quite confident on Santos. It's yellow color because this is a median advice or a medium bet that I'm taking. I'm quite confident on Santos, like I'm saying. So I'll be betting 3.5% of my money on Santos, 2.5% by straight bet and 1% in a parlay. All right. So for example, I'll be parlaying this 3 here. But one important thing about parlay, guys, is that I do not parlay this entire thing. It's not that I'm gonna make a giant parlay with everybody that's here. I make parlay in doubles, sometimes in triples. All right. So I can make this 2, then I'll make this 2, then I'll make this 2. Then I'll make this 2, all right? Then I can make this 3, then I can switch to this 3, all right? I do not do parlays like everyone that I'm putting here because this is super likely that I'm just gonna lose my money, all right? Even though it will be a giant return if I get it, but it's very unlikely to get it. So I like to get parlays, which is when you bet guys together, right? In doubles, eventually in triples, all right? Another guy that I'll be parlaying is Carl Robertson. He's fighting Dalcha Lungiambula, so I'm quite confident on Robertson. The lines also have him as a strong favorite. Still, I'll be parlaying less than 1% of my money because I don't see that much value. No, this guy here, I see him with some chances to winning. I'm not going to be breaking down this, but that's what it means, right? That's why I don't put too much money in here because there's not too much return. I'm quite confident, but there's not too much return, so I'll be just putting some money there. And in terms of prop bets, Carl Robertson either by submission at this line, TKO by this line, and Lungiambula, to me, if he wins, it's by TKO, and I would be betting him at plus 600 by TKO, or decision bets, all right? Plus 500 on Robertson, or plus 700 in Lungiambula. So guys, like I said, this is a guideline. What is the idea here? Get this thing, and if you find this prop bets with these numbers here, then throw a very small percentage. In general, I'll go like to 0.5% of my money when I throw prop bets. I can go up to 1%, but it's a small one because prop bets, they sound very tempting because the returns can be huge, but also it's not easy, and that's why to me it has to have a very big return to be worth the risk. Belal Muhammad versus Diego Lima. This is a TKO possible prop bet for Muhammad. This by sub, Lima by sub, and these lines, and then by decision. So I think you guys got it, right? This is the idea. Now, one guy that I think I didn't put here, but we have Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera. Should be somewhere here. Yeah, it's here. So actually, the round betting I would be also putting here. In here, actually, I forgot to put, but I like very much Marlon Vera on round 3, and I would be getting him if I can get it plus 1300 or something, or even KO or sub in these lines. All right, so I'll be adding all of round bettings in these columns here decision, prop bets, and basically I'm saying here, if I find these lines, I'll be betting these guys by decision, all right? And here this actual, this means that I'm betting, and again, this is the percentage, and this return is just gonna be the multiplication of this by this, and in case of parlay, I'm giving an extra 20%, because when parlays it multiplies, and my historic record, which you guys may see in the other videos that I made, and when I cover the results, it comes to I'm just multiplying by 20% just to give it an extra weight there. All right, so I think that's gonna do it. I'm not obviously gonna cover all of this, but I think it was clear in those that I covered, and yeah, I think that's it.